Alright, so let's get started with the first module for our course, commenting a little bit about the preliminaries and which topics and concepts we're gonna cover for this particular section. This is the only section that is going to be theoretical, because pretty much the rest of the course is practical. We're gonna be using ArchiCad pretty much all the time, and in the end we're gonna jump into BIMX, the other application. But just for this case, we're gonna comment everything in a theoretical manner, in a brief presentation. I'm going to start explaining to you what is the meaning of BIM, the main concept, the idea behind centralizing the information in a database, which becomes the BIM model, how the BIM lifecycle is important to all the methodology, and we're gonna comment a little bit about the different dimensions of BIM, which software is related to each of the different dimensions. Now keep in mind that this is a course about ArchiCAD. Yes, we're gonna mainly be working with ArchiCAD, focusing on the architectural dimension, that is the software, but it's always important to have a bigger scope of all the concepts that implies the BIM methodology. Now, besides the dimensions of BIMs, I'm going to share with you a nice file that contains a list of different software. So also just keep in mind that the lessons include a lot of useful information and files you can use for your own advantage. Something we're gonna mainly focus on is the BIM implementation process. For this case, on a personal manner, but you can also use the theoretical concepts to implement BIM on your enterprise, on your group project, on the academic space, whichever space you are currently located on. So we're gonna comment the basic idea of how we can compare 2D CAD versus BIM, and how BIM works a little bit better and a little bit different, okay? But we're also gonna comment which concept not to apply with BIM, the differences between idealized BIM, the BIM plus template workflow, and something we need to keep in mind when using BIM on the long term. So this is extremely important. Besides that, we're gonna comment many different examples related to BIM, different types of projects, possibilities such as the use of external plugins to model the details of the details, a little bit of how we can use BIMX to communicate our project in different manners, but everything once again is on a theoretical level, so just keep that in mind. And besides commenting all the different theoretical concepts about BIM, we're gonna take a space to comment on how you can register an account on the official Graphisoft page by My ArchiCAD, and how you can obtain an evaluation license so you can work on ArchiCAD without any cost and use the software completely free of charge. So just keep in mind you will have up to 30 days to try out ArchiCAD if you need some time. You can also, if you are studying in an institution, in a university, you can always register for free and apply for an educational license. Usually Graphisoft takes nearly 1 week or maybe 1 day to give you out the educational license, and you can use ArchiCAD up to a full year before having to renounce the license. Even so, you can use ArchiCAD pretty much all the time you are studying. The only requisite for this is a student ID or a registration of the university you are currently in. So to sum it up, Graphisoft gives you a lot of options so you can try out and learn about ArchiCAD. Even so, if the 30 days end and you still need to use ArchiCAD, you can always use the software in what's called the demo version, which is without a license, but you won't be able to save or export your data. You will just be able to use and continue learning ArchiCAD without generating any type of result. So having said this, now in the next lesson we will start our presentation talking a little bit about the main concepts behind BIM.